Hello, welcome to my channel. This is So Much Sewing and my name is Catherine. This channel is just a good old-fashioned channel about sewing, home sewing. I'm no great expert, no great technical whiz. I've just been sewing for a number of years and this is just basically my sewing adventures. Today I'm going to be talking you through 3 new makes of mine. One you've already seen briefly before, but I'll talk to you about it in more detail. A second one you haven't seen, but I have talked about it, about making it, and I have actually made it. And the third one is, it's fine, it's okay. Yeah, I'm sure I will wear it. The first thing to talk to you about is my beloved Songbird Duster by Pattern Emporium. This I made in a gorgeous viscose knit that I got from Paper Scissors Cloth here in New Zealand. This amazing emerald green. I hope the colour's coming out well on screen. When I filmed it last time I thought the colour wasn't really showing accurately. It's a very deep emerald or forest or bottle green. It's really, really lovely. This fabric is 100% viscose, as I said. It's all, you know, organically certified, all the letters, you know, Oteco, whatever it is. The company I got it from, Paper Scissors Cloth, are very particular seemingly about their fabrics, and they do seem to be all very sustainable fabrics. They've actually got some interesting reads on their website too, if you want to go and have a look at some of their blogs on just how sustainable is sustainable and that sort of thing. So I'll put the link down below. By all means, go and have a look because it is very interesting. So this fabric it's called a Lima, L-I-M-A knit. What Lima means I'm not sure, if that's a brand or if it's a style, but that's what they've called it on their website. They do still have some of this available and they have other colours as well. But so it's a really heavy knit. It's about 290 GSM. It's got no recovery in it, and it's very, very heavy. So when I made the Songbird, I learned some things about this type of fabric, and there's nothing wrong with this type of fabric. The pattern is perfect, and I think this type of knit suits this pattern very nicely. But because it's so heavy and so drapey with no recovery, it's kind of all grown a bit. For example, the sleeves are super duper long on me. To be honest, I didn't actually measure them before I made them, but my understanding was that the cuff would be sort of like this length on your average person, and I am short, so I expected it to sort of be a bit longer, but it sort of comes down to about here, and I think that is because of the heavy drape of the fabric, and also the length is extremely long on me. I feel like it's dropped, like if the fabric wasn't so heavy and so drapey, if that's the right word, it's just so heavy, I don't think it would be quite so long on me. But that's fine. I may take the sleeves up a little bit to make it a little less sort of faffy when you're mucking around doing things, although it is really good because they are so long. When you're sort of driving the car, the sleeves do still come down and cover your wrists, which is really nicely, because often sleeves ride up when you're doing something like that. So in 2 minds about whether I will shorten the sleeves or not, but I love this cardigan. I love me a long line snuggly cardigan, and this fits the bill. So the Songbird Duster, you can make it in a woven or in a knit, and Kate from Pattern Emporium does give you instructions, separate instructions on how to sew the knit. For example, on the neckband here where it joins, the instruction when you're sewing a knit is to take out I think it was 2 centimeters from memory, because there's notches on your band and it's really important apparently that the neckband fits between those two notches, because there's shaping on the front neckline. Even though it kind of doesn't really look like it, there is some kind of shaping in there, and so you have to have those notches fitting just perfectly at the shoulders, otherwise the neckband won't sit nicely. And when I was making this, I thought to myself, look, there is basically no stretch in this fabric. I probably don't need to take out that 2 centimeters in the back neck, and I wasn't going to do that. But then I thought to myself, no, Kate never puts you wrong. Kate always tells you correctly. You can believe whatever Kate tells you, you can believe. So the instruction was that if you've got any kind of stretch whatsoever in your fabric, take that 2 centimeters out. As I say, I was a little bit reluctant at first because I didn't think my knit was that stretchy, but it actually was the exact right thing to do, and I'm glad I listened to her. Something else, the pockets on here, they're lovely integrated, you know, they're nicely quite sort of flat, although I think I stretched my fabric a little bit. I didn't use my walking foot. I should have used my walking foot, shouldn't I? And I think I did stretch the pocket openings just a tiny little bit, but they're all top stitched down. They really are lovely constructed pockets. And in the instructions, one of the instructions was if you were doing the short songbird, to raise the pockets up 5 centimeters. Well, I got a little bit confused and I thought that I needed to raise the pockets 5 centimeters for the knit version, but I was actually on the wrong page. So I made a mistake, but I'm very glad I did make that mistake because, again, because the fabric is so heavy, it's pulled it down, and I raised the pockets 5 centimeters, but I can only just get my hands in the pocket. I sort of have to stretch down a little bit to get them all the way in the pocket. So that's another thing I learned about sewing with a really heavy fabric that does not recover well. Things stretch and droop, which, as I say, is fine. You just need to allow for that when you are sewing your pattern. So in hindsight, do I think I wish I had known some of those things beforehand? Probably, but I'm more than happy with my cardigan. I think it's going to work really well. I talked to you recently about my autumn-winter wardrobe plans, and already I have been wearing this, and already I know that this is going to be absolutely perfect for my autumn-winter. I'll put a picture in here of how I wore it today. It actually looks very wintry, much more wintry than the day warranted, but I mean, you can see how it's just going to slot easily, and it's just so easy to throw on with whatever you're wearing. Yeah, I'm going to get lots of wear out of it, I just know. The next thing I made is something I had talked to you about previously and said that I was going to make it, and that is the Elbie Textiles Staley sweatshirt. So I did make this, and as I said I would, I made it out of my navy Cupro jersey that I got from Draper's. This, I mean, it says navy, but it's the deepest, darkest ink. Honestly, it's pretty much black. It does have, and I don't know if it's going to come out, it does have quite a nice mild texture on it. Mild, sort of, yeah, I think you can see that. So, and it's very soft, and quite lightweight. It's more lightweight and not quite as snuggly warm as I thought it would be. That's the back. I'm showing you the back because I wore it and I've spilt stuff down the front. Not only did I spill my lunch down the front, which was a pork stir fry that Chris had cooked the night before, but I also tipped my minestrone cup of soup down it later on that same day when I wore it to work for the very first time. So this obviously needs to go in the wash, but you can see it's a really lovely high-low design. The sleeves actually, the sweatshirt calls for long sleeves and the t-shirt calls for short sleeves. When I made this last time, I made the t-shirt, but I put the long sleeves of the sweatshirt on it. And because I did that, because it was a t-shirt, I slimmed the sleeve down. And so I just put that same slimmed down sleeve on the sweatshirt, and I think it works perfectly. I will put pictures of how I wore it to work that fateful day, the first time I wore it, when I slopped goop down my front. And I'll have another picture of it in a moment when I show you it with my next make. So this I made in a size G at the bust and an H at the hip. So the size G bust is 109 centimeters for a bust of 109 centimeters, and that's exactly what my bust is. And the hip for a size G is 118 centimeters, which actually pretty much is bang on my hip measurement. Unfortunately, it has gone up slightly in recent weeks and months, but despite that being kind of bang on, I actually went up to the next size for the hip. You all know I've got a thing about not wanting anything too fitting around my tum-tum. So I did do that, but you know, it's very short. So it's not really around my hips anyway. It's probably more the size G because it kind of, yeah, sits up a little bit higher. So it's probably almost a G around my sort of waist area anyway, because, you know, you grade it. And so you know what I'm talking about. I also shortened the front a little bit because I am short myself. So, well, when I say I shortened it, I used the cut line for the smallest size for the front, and I think I left the back for the long, you know, for my actual size. And I really love that little split there. I think it's really easy to do, and I think it looks really, really great. So yeah, I'm really happy with this. It's going to be great for autumn weather. When I did wear it to the office, I did actually have a little jacket over the top of it. So it's not super snugly warm. It's not quite as snugly warm as I thought it was going to be, but I'll still get plenty of wear out of it in the autumn months with a lighter jacket over the top. And then when it gets a bit cooler, I'll be wearing this probably with my green songbird that I just showed you, and also with my grey cuddle up cardigan from Trish Newberry, which I actually have found again. I found my cardigan, so I'm going to take a picture and pop it in so you can see this grey coloured cuddle up cardigan that I've been banging on about for weeks and months, and I'm going to put it in my file, so I've got it on file, so next time I bang on about it I can show you a picture of it too. And my last make to talk to you about is another Elbie Textiles make, but it's a t-shirt this time, the t-shirt from that same pattern. So I made it in I really love this colour. It's not a colour I probably would normally go for. I'm not sure. Actually, I do know why I bought it, because I bought some fabric from someone and I saw this there and I thought, well, look, it was only $5. It was for a metre, it was $5. So I thought I may as well get that as well. So this is a cotton rib knit, and I've actually never sewn with rib knit before. So it was a new experience for me. I didn't have quite the right colour thread. So yeah, oh well. And I sort of ran out of fabric, so I ran the knit band the other way, so the ribs run vertically rather than, sorry, the ribs run horizontally rather than vertically like the rest of the t-shirt, but I think that works fine. I think I just need to press that a little bit better. So again, this is the same pattern, just the t-shirt version. I'll show you a picture of this worn with the Staley sweatshirt that I made. I don't think it quite works. I mean, the t-shirt and the sweatshirt are designed to be worn together, clearly, but the fabrics are so very different. The rib is just so much sort of thicker and heavier and bouncy and it's wearing it under that Coupe Pro jersey, which is much more lightweight. I just feel like the proportions are not quite right, and possibly actually the hip is a little wide to be worn under that sweatshirt. I think possibly if I was to make another t-shirt to go under the sweatshirt, I probably would go down a size. I would make a G all the way through. G bust, G hip. I think there's just a little too much fullness in the t-shirt to go under that top. So that's, yeah, I think that's what I'll do. I do have some other jersey, some rayon jersey knit that I would use to make another long sleeve Staley t-shirt to wear underneath the Staley sweatshirt. So that's all I've got for you this week. It's a very short video, I know. I do have a busy month coming up with makes. I've got a couple of challenges that I'm involved in, so I do have a lot of work to be doing. And but I'll just leave it there for today. I haven't done as much sewing as I need to have done, if that makes sense, but I'm going to get onto it this afternoon, and hopefully tomorrow I'll get some time to do some sewing too. But that's it for me. Thank you very much for joining me today, and I'll see you next time. Bye for now.